So this idea of them being skeptic, he wants to pursue this. Obviously, this is the main thrust of his book here. Yeah. So he gives us 3 different takes on skepticism, right? So he says, if knowledge unlocks freedom, then whether the notions of doubt and skepticism that Hitchens so highly valued. He says knowledge and skepticism seems to be polar opposites of one another. So he gives us the first kind of skepticism. He calls it a full-blown skeptic. It's someone who doubts that we can have knowledge about anything whatsoever, right? So that's full-blown skepticism, that we can't know anything, right? Of course, now he doesn't want to pursue that because then that kind of almost defeats itself.
Right.
You know?
Well, and you can kind of say, yes, that is the extreme side, but at the same time, no one honestly believes that, because by making a claim that we can never know, you make a claim that you're
making a knowledge claim,
right? Yeah. We can never know anything is a knowledge claim that you can know something, because that's at least one thing, which then defeats.
We can never know anything except the thing that the fact that we can never know anything,
right?
Something like that.
Although
which is,
I would like to see Michael Shermer, who's the big Skeptic magazine guy. I would like to see Skeptic magazine be actually skeptic, and Bigfoot doesn't exist, but then I want to see skepticism for the opposite end of that, and I think that would make for a true skeptic magazine.
Yeah. So, and that's kind of the kind of issues here that he gets at in this book, right? He wants skeptics to be really skeptics. He doesn't want full-blown skepticism, though. And then he says there are, of course, kinder, gentler versions of skepticism, right? And said, according to these, he says, we do not or cannot have knowledge merely about specific topics. So we can call this specific topic skepticism, right? What does he mean here? Well, for example, that we can be skeptics about God's existence, right? And so that's a specific topic skepticism.
So a true agnostic would be someone that's
something like that, right? But he doesn't want to limit it to just God. He says we might be skeptics about the physical world outside our minds, about unobservable scientific entities like electrons, quarks, or gravitons, or about objective moral laws. People can also be skeptical about events like a worldwide flood or evolution or the Big Bang or the moon landing, right? And so, this is, he calls it a kinder, gentler notion of skepticism. So we have full-blown skepticism. We have this specific topic skepticism. And so he's going to use this specific topic skepticism. But what he wants to move to is what he calls sober skepticism. This is his third kind. He says, but skepticism can also refer to something much less controversial, something more mundane and practical. This kind of skepticism is an overall, he says, epistemological stance, a kind of safety-first attitude toward what one believes. He calls this an intellectual caution, right? And he says this even kinder, even gentler skepticism merely says that we shouldn't be, unduly credulous, that we should filter our beliefs using a sufficiently fine dosatic sleeve, right? Doxa is the Greek for belief, so a belief mechanism here. He says, and he wants to call this sober skepticism. Sober skepticism can obviously be embraced by the believer and the unbeliever alike. At least it's obvious to me, he says.
Yeah, so this would be something like, I come up to you and I say, a UFO has landed in my backyard. Yeah. And you say, that seems a little outlandish, but I'm willing to go with you on this journey to see it. And once I see it, then okay.
Then I can reevaluate what I think. So this is kind of sober skepticism. It's an intellectual caution, right? And so these are the three then, right? This full-blown skepticism, which he's not going to talk about at all. This specific topic skepticism, which he is going to talk about because the specific topic skepticism,
you want to focus on
skepticism about God. So he wants to talk about that, and so he's going to spend some time on that. But the one that he likes is what he calls a sober skepticism. This is this general intellectual caution, the safety first attitude that he wants us. It's kind of an overall epistemological attitude with regard to the things that we should believe.
Yeah. He calls it epistemologically savvy and streetwise.
That's right.